So, a lot of us bang on YouTube, us lot. We bang on a lot about Marvel, Disney, Disney Plus, and how they wrecked it. And we spend a lot of time doing that, but we don't spend as much time discussing what they should do next. Well, I had a little idea. And if that intrigues you enough to wait after the scroll, come and join me then. Bonjour. So first of all, let me thank you all, whoever you are, whatever you're doing for me, whether you are liking, whether you're commenting, or whether you're going the whole hog. See what I did there? And subscribing. Love you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's growing my channel nicely, and I appreciate everything. And I don't know if everyone's noticed, but I think I do reply to every single comment. So I love it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. That's why I said at the beginning, let's discuss what Marvel should do next. That's because I know it's just me talking, but let's all talk about it. Now, what provoked this idea was the success of Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I know this is already a game which I haven't played, and I didn't know a thing about this. Now, Blumhouse, who have made this, they are very successful at making low-budget horror films. The key to it being low budget in comparison to Hollywood, stuff like Disney, Marvel. And I know these films take a lot of money, a lot of CGI and all the rest of it, but please bear with me. And I think you know where I'm already going. So Five Nights at Freddy's, they've delivered a profit-making... It's just going to be in the black. It's going to earn Blumhouse millions and millions, and it's smashing a load of records, not only for Blumhouse but for the release of a horror film and this and that and the other, which isn't really what I wanted to go into. You can find out all those videos elsewhere, and I haven't seen the film, so, and this isn't going to be a critique on it. That was the catalyst for me thinking about where Marvel should go now. I don't know why, Sarah, but I suppose it's because just recently they have released a couple of horror tie-ins, Marvel Comics. And let's think about Werewolf by Night that Disney Plus aired about a year ago now, is it? And do you know what? I don't think I heard anyone moan about it. I don't think many people were coming out praising it. Now, I enjoyed it. I liked the way they did it in black and white. I like the fact that they didn't hold back on the violence at the end when it all kicks off. And there were enough nods to old crusties like me and to the horror genre and all the weird characters that were the hunters in that show. And I know there was CGI Man thing in it. But other than that, it was one set, one location, and a bunch of actors. Now, unlike... And I know it was only one episode or one. I think they called it a short film, but I think it was about an hour, so that's one episode. So don't get me wrong. That can't compete with a $200 million production of, say, Secret Invasion, which I don't know how they spend that kind of... Well, I do know. When you see 10 minutes of credits at the end of these shows, and I think one of them, I think it was She-Hulk, when I was reviewing that, I noticed that they had 8 hairdressers. Now, I'm not being funny now. It's no wonder these shows are going over budget. I know everyone's got to look right for the camera, but my God, you're not telling me they can't cut back. And something like Secret Invasion, which was very I mean, all right, you had some alien special effects, but when they bandy around these $150 million and $200 million for a series of 6 episodes, wow. I mean, it just, I can see it. I can see a lot of waste. So the first thing is to I think the writers and the actors strikes and all that, they've kind of cleared house for the studios, to be fair. Because I think when things get rocking and rolling again, I think there's going to be a lot of changes. And I think we all know that. Amongst these changes, I basically believe that Marvel could do horror. quite successfully and cheaply. Now, I'm not gonna ramble on for ages and ages. You know, shut up. Don't say that. I always keep things succinct. But Marvel Comics have got a tradition that goes all the way back to the 70s with Tomb of Dracula, with Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider, and on and on and on. And then they brought Blade in Tomb of Dracula. Then they done a line of horror comic, black and white magazines. So the horror genre's all Man Thing. It's always been there or thereabouts from the 70s onwards. And obviously genres come and go, and that one went. But why not resurrect it? If the only competition you've got, and you've got a weird bunch of calendars saying do Tomb of Dracula, but look how successful the Blade films were. And I know they had a Blade film in the works, but I suspect they was going to make it superhero-y. And that's wrong. That's wrong. How the first 3 films did it, just do that. You could ground it more in the Marvel Universe. I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. And have a few Marvel characters turn up. I mean, you could have, in a Blade movie, you could have quite easily Moon Knight turn up. And that's quite a dark, forget what Dismal Minus did. I nearly called them Disney Plus again then. I haven't done that just at the beginning to reel you all in. If you haven't watched my videos before, they're Dismal Minus. So forget that show they did. But they did. I mean, do you remember the trailer where at the end it was Moon Knight beating up on a I thought was a werewolf at the end of it. That kind of imagery with Blade in a Marvel horror cinematic universe. I know because they like linking all these things together. How difficult would it be to do a TV series of any of the? I mean, they've just done a series, the new issues of the Hulk. They've put him in a horror scene, so they are kind of getting into the on the fringes of things. They're getting into the horror stuff. Do a Blade movie, and go from there, and TV series from that. Now I know they kind of. I mean, this is just a bit of fun, but this is just me illustrating the fact that these are all within the past few months. This Crypt of Shadows, this was all one-off stories, and look who they've got in these one-off little horror stories. Ready for Halloween. There was a Deadpool, Daredevil. I mean, Scarlet Witch is ideal really to go in, but not the Scarlet Witch they've kind of developed. If you want to make her dark, yeah, bring her in, or she could be on the fringes, in and out. I mean. Now, this is the latest copy of the latest issue of Blade did have Doctor Strange in it. Now, obviously, I would keep magic out of it because that's where you're going to need heavy CGI. And all these suggestions, and the other one was a comic I picked up recently, which I should have had ready, but it is magic, but. It kind of revolves around the horror theme as well, but more magic. But this would make a great tie-in to a horror, and it's called Strange Academy, and it is it's like Harry Potter. It's all kids going to they're all like got magic abilities, a bit like in X-Men where they're all mutants and they go to Xavier's place, Westchester. How do I not know it? Exocad, whatever they call it. And look, I mean, this one might be a bit heavy, and it's kind of like got a Buffy vibe around it. It's young kids and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. So, and Strange Academy was very popular, but Doctor Strange wasn't in it a lot. Now, obviously, there was magic in it, but I still believe you can make this stuff and you know, if you follow any of my videos, you know I hate the word grounded. But what I'm talking about is the storytelling. Just don't have it going off in a multiverse again. Or a pandaverse. I wonder how many people are going to call it a pandaverse now. Anyway, I'm kind of going to leave it at that. Just leave you with the thought that they could do, you know, I'm not saying they can do Man Thing because that would be complete CGI, even though I think with all the talent they could lay their hands on, you could do a mixture of VFX and costume for a good Man Thing film. Because the thing is about a film about Man Thing, particularly, well, you could do the origin, which would involve him. You can't have Man Thing in it all the time, because that's not where the story's generated. It's generated with the characters and situations around him, and whatever he touches and feels fear bursts into flame. Now, you can't have him doing that all the way through. It's a bit like with Blade. That's why they surrounded him with people that he cares about and that you get to know and trust. And particularly, I think, was it the second or third one with old Daryl in it, the character he played, and he betrays him. It's stuff like that it can be done. I know it isn't going to cost just 10 million, but a horror film based on, well, if you say you done, I don't know, say you rebooted Werewolf by Night series, it would just be like, and go back to the format that used to work years ago. But I think there's something within the horror genre that it shows, it proves it can be made cheaply and successfully because of films like Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's a 13. I think it's a PG-13 in England. Well, I don't know what it is, but it is not an R and it's not an 18. And I don't think it's even a 15. So whatever silly ratings they do now, it broadens it out. And it has been simultaneously, yeah, I'll put my teeth in a minute, in cinema and on the whatever digital platform it's on, Hulu, I don't know, Peacock or whatever one it is. There's too many of them there now. And they've still smashed it at the box office. It's still been a very, very, very successful release. So people like horror, people used to like Marvel. You've only got to tie it in on the fringes. You've only got to have Doctor Strange turn up in the first episode of Strange Academy, introduce all the characters, and the teachers in it. One of them was Scarlet Witch, so you could have her turning up every now and again. And after the first few issues, they kind of let the kids get on with it. And again, I kind of come back to the Buffy kind of thing, where you had was it Giles turning up, the teacher, every headmaster, whoever he was, just for a couple of minutes an episode. You can't tell me it can't be done unless you want to pay someone $50 million, because I'm pretty sure that those actors and actresses didn't get paid anywhere near, even when it was at the height of its success. And if they did, it meant that they was getting in advertising revenue. So it was a whole different concept. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you want to discuss it further, or you've got ideas of what should they do next? If you don't agree with that, or you think, oh, that ain't going to work, and you know, the Blade film looks like it was going to suck, and it did. Well, we don't know enough. But going on what they've already done, yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave you with it and bid you all adios.